join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Antoinette, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Adriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. Somebody like to audit the bills?
I'll make a motion that the town board approve abstract number 21 dated November 17th, 2017 in the amount of $121,422.19. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, first up tonight, New York State has implemented a new program, the New York Paid Family Leave Act. The town has, as a government agency, has the option of opting in or opting out. I will tell you, I have some reservations about the program, but we can go through it. Essentially, it goes through an employee's disability policy and gives them paid leave off. And the state every year sets the amount of contribution, the maximum amount of contribution that an employee has to contribute. The first year is 0.126% of their salary. It's not a huge amount. It's actually quite economical. But the town has to notify the state whether we're going to opt in or opt out. We have to give our employees 90 days notice prior to us opting in, and we have to give them an answer by December 1st.
So
Yeah.
FMLA will hold your job, but you don't get paid.
Correct.
Right? So this will both hold your job and you get paid now for such things as bonding with a child. What were the other categories? I don't remember. I read it, but I don't.
If you've got a military leave, person
Okay.
coming back from military leave, if you're
Elders-
doing an
elderly
adoption, elderly care.
I think the caretaker for an elderly person?
Yep. Yep.
So if we opt in, every employee has to make the contribution,
Yes.
even though we may only have one person who might use it, or
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, everybody will, and we can do it by category.
Okay.
So we could, however we could define a category, be it all town hall employees, couldn't do it for highway because that has to be negotiated within the contract. We could do it for all the EMTs, but nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, you said we have until December 1st to opt in or out. Is this something that can be done if we decided not to opt in? Could we opt in next, just as on a calendar year?
No, we could opt in with 90 days notice to the employees.
Oh, okay. So they're rolling this out as a new initiative?
Correct.
And then, okay.
So
Yeah.
even if one employee was interested, all employees would have to contribute?
Yes, we're opting in. If we're going to opt in, we have to opt in for a specific category of employees. We would have to define that category.
So it could be administrative
It could be all,
folks?
yeah,
Or it could be, like you said, what, EMTs?
could be EMTs, it could be all full-time but not the part-time, it could be all the part-time but not the full-time. It could be both full-time and part-time. It would have to be a definable category of individuals, employees.
And Rich, what's the town's exposure?
Well, that's the $64 question on this. The state sets the rate of contribution by the employee every year. And we've confirmed this year that our disability insurance carrier feels that that amount is adequate to cover the cost of the program. But the state every year will set the maximum employee contribution. And it may or may not cover it, and the town would then have to pick up the difference.
And so while we have the ability to opt in with 90 days notice, do we have the ability at some point in the future to opt out?
We could,
And so
yes.
it's only for the time that it's in effect that it covers?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
all the rules and all the guidance documents, of course, this is a brand-new program, are not out there, they're not available. For example, you brought up FMLA. Does this run concurrently or subsequent? Separately from FMLA? Well, the current thinking is it runs concurrently.
Right.
As long as you provide adequate notice to your employee that it is running concurrent with their FMLA obligations.
And can you speak to the shortfall again? So let's say we get into the program January 1st, we're contributing for 3 years, no one's using it, and then in the 4th year, we have someone who's out for 12 weeks. What's the implication as far as a shortfall? Is there?
To the town, none.
None, okay.
None. You know, the shortfall would be if the rates for the disability insurance, you know, increase to cover the cost of doing this. But the maximum rate set by the state does not increase along with it.
Has any employee expressed interest?
I've talked to a few of the employees. Tricia's talked to a few of the employees. Nobody that I talked to was interested in the program.
So if we, because we have this December 1st deadline, so if we opt in, then we have 90 days to talk to employees or no?
No, we would, if you want to opt in, if you tell us that you want a certain category of our employees to opt in, then we would tomorrow provide notice to all those employees and you know, let the state know we're entering the program.
And then they would start,
After 90 days, we would start payroll deductions.
Can you think of any situations that have come up in the last few years that we would have had an employee that this would have benefited? And I don't, obviously highway's different because they wouldn't have been covered by this, of the town hall employees or rec center employees.
Well, it's hard for me to say because the program wasn't available. So, for example,
sure.
somebody may have had a loved one coming home from the military. They would have liked to have taken time off and spent the time with them. You know,
Who's had a baby recently in the last 2 years?
Planning department.
Yeah.
Salary, maybe.
So maybe her husband could have taken, conceivably Dennis could have taken time off to bond with a child at the same time and would have received salary if he was employed with us
Sure.
by the time.
but he does, I mean, he does have benefits through the town.
Sure.
Where he could take time off.
Could take
Right.
vacation time, sick time. Okay. What are your reservations?
Again, the unknowns, the uncertainty in future years.
well, this is an annual thing, right? So this
Yeah.
would come back up again next year, roughly around this time.
Well, it's not an annual thing. We could opt in again with 90-day notice to the employees. We could do that in June if we wanted to do it in June.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we actually survey the town hall and rec, the full-time employees only? Because we were talking about it, well, could it be part-timers as well? You said
Yeah.
we could,
Yes.
so
Yes.
why don't we poll all of our employees that this could potentially impact and see what the general consensus is, and not worry about the December 1st deadline, not be rushed by a deadline, but see what, you know, and not opt in at this point, but find out if this is something, because you'd hate to push something and people say, great, now they're taking another $100 out of my paycheck, and, you know, I don't even want the program.
So as of tomorrow, I'm going to notify the state that we are not opting in at this time. And in the future, we're going to opt.
Well,
We
I
have
think
the
we have the
potential for
potential.
opt-in.
I think
Yeah.
that if we have the potential, that's a great option, instead of rushing into something that we're not sure of the full implications, and something that is going to cost our employees part of their paycheck. How does that sound?
Yeah, I
everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right, we will revisit this at a later date. Okay, next on my agenda is the Putnam Lake Park District. They have reached out to a number of companies and solicited proposals for the 2018 aquaside treatment of the lake, Q-Trine Plus. Solitude Management has been the lowest of the three applicators whose bids were solicited. The total cost for the algicide this year is $16,636. So I'd like to make a motion, we approve Solitude Lake Management to apply the pesticide, the aquaside Q-Trane Plus to Putnam Lake for weed control for the 2018 season. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And my executive session, I will defer to the end of the agenda. Kevin?
Alrighty, first item is tax certiorari's. It looks like we have resolved 5 of them. I'm not familiar with the exact location they give tax map. Donna, I don't know if you know which these locations are. I can go through each of the 5. The first is Patterson Center LLC versus Town of Patterson. They filed certiorari's for tax year 2015, 16, and 17. The original assessed value was $63,000. It was reduced to $35,000. That represents a decrease in income to the town vis-a-vis town taxes. Town taxes alone, or town and county? That's town. I think that's just the taxes impact, the $161 or $186.
That's just town.
Okay, so just the impact to the town as a result of the reduction is $186 per year, approximately. It goes up a little as time goes on, so it's $186 the first year, $191.88 the second year, and approximately $200 the next year. So I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution of this tax certiorari and move the resolution as moved. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So you all know, I believe this is the driveway just south of Alpine Restaurant.
Driveway? It's just the driveway?
Just that
Just the
drive- just
driveway.
that
And we
center-
assessed the driveway at $63,000.
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's a really wide driveway. Next tax certiorari is also Patterson Center LLC. Same scenario, 3 years were grieved. The assessment was $30,600. It was reduced to $13,000. Implication to the town over the 3 years is approximately $115, $120 a year. So I'll make a motion to approve that second certiorari as read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, next, Patterson Town Center LLC versus Town of Patterson. This is for, again, tax years 2015, 16, and 17. What do we actually have a structure for 125,000, or is this also just land? Do you know?
No, this is a 7-acre parcel at the bottom of Birch Hill Road.
Okay.
It was subject of a subdivision
Okay.
many years ago.
So the original assessed value on this property was $125,600 for each of those 3 years. The reduced assessment is $50,000. The implication to the town is approximately $500 over each of those 3 years. So I'll make a motion to resolve the tax certiorari by resolution as read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think I'm up to number 4. This is tax certiorari of Wayne Ryder as individually and as executive of the estate of Merritt Ryder. The assessed value on this tax lot was $10,200, and the reduced assessment is $3,000, and the implication to the town is a deduction in tax income of approximately $50 for each of those calendar years. So I'll again make a motion to move the resolution as read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Number 5, Putnam County Bank versus Town of Patterson. This was a grievance for same calendar years. Original assessment on this tax parcel was $52,600. They dropped the tax certiorari for 2015 and 2016 in agreement to reduce the value in 2017 to $2,600. The implication of the town is approximately $215 for that year and obviously going forward. So I'll make a motion to move that resolution as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, those are all related to the tax certiorari.
That's it.
And then I have my favorite, budget transfer requests. Budget transfer request 45 is budget transfer for special counsel contractual to contingent account in the amount of $4,720. Budget transfer 46 is a budget transfer within the wastewater treatment plant under operations and sludge removal contractual. So we're moving, we're increasing appropriated fund balance of $27,500. Is that also increasing or decreasing? I thought that was decreasing. It should be coming out of.
I don't have it in front of me. It's the way it's written.
Okay. And increasing sewer contractual operations and sewer contractual sludge removal for $25,000 and $2,500. Last one is budget transfer request 47. This has to do with, there's been some cost overruns at Highway with regards to repairing trucks, and the line is currently negative. So to bring it current, we're moving, for the balance of the year, we're just moving $15,000 to machinery contractual, taking it from general repairs contractual and snow removal contractual. So I'll make a motion to approve budget transfer requests 45, 46, and 47. And actually, I have one item to add to my agenda, just something I wanted
Wait,
to...
before we do that,
Okay.
do I have a second?
No.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have one item to add to my agenda.
What would you like to add to your agenda?
I received a call regarding outreach to a resident of Patterson who was facing eviction after an illness, and I really didn't have any good answers for this individual, and I just wanted to bring it to the town board. It's apparently a local resident who resides somewhere on 311. She's faced some health issues, and the landlord was basically giving her a drop dead date of, I think, early December to evict her. I suggested referring the person, this was not the individual, but someone who wanted to help the individual. I suggested social services. I just throw it out to the board. Is there any other organization or help group or the like that I could put this person in touch with?
Don, you want to?
Is the outreach program that the county has, is that the type of
Well,
thing?
that would be
come under
social services.
Social services?
That's, I mean, that was my best answer, but I just
And-
raise it because it seems like a very unfortunate circumstance for this woman because she's faced some significant health issues, which has led to her being unemployable and thereby not being able to pay her rent. But anyone else know of anything out there? No?
Social services is the
All right,
only
that's what I told her, but I just figured I'd raise it.
And I
So,
don't think legal aid would
no.
cover it. So, the Bar Association advertises, no, not so much advertise, they have a lawyer's referral service. It's not discounted rates, but
Right.
it's a spot where if attorneys are on the list that
Right.
have a little bit more of a community-minded.
So you contacted the individual?
Not the individual,
Well,
someone
the
asking
individual
who had made the inquiry to me to see if there was any way we could reach out to help this person.
And you referred them to social services?
My response is social services. I
Yeah,
have not
did-
heard what the follow-up was. I
Okay.
haven't gotten the second piece, so.
And I think legal services of the Hudson Valley is another potential, which would have
Yeah,
legal aid.
this is more than
aid-
legal services. This is a woman who isn't producing an income.
Pretty soon.
Well,
Yeah,
understood, but.
and we need some organization to step in and kind of prop her up for a little while until she gets back on her feet.
It wouldn't be that.
Okay.
Legal
Well-
services obviously would help on the eviction
We,
side.
so we have all the contact information, right,
So,
for the individual?
so maybe someone's looking for something to do at Christmas for someone that wants to be a, good Samaritan, and they see the broadcast. Contact Rich Williams.
Contact me.
Thank you. That was all.
All right, Peter.
Okay, first item on my agenda, EMS requests. We interviewed a few people today for the EMT position. We had a couple good interviews. We do have one person that we would like to hire. She interviewed very well, very good candidate. So I'd like to make a motion to hire Christina Hughes, rate of $15 per hour, pending her background checks. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second item, I have a couple of recreation requests. First one from Matt Chabarro, requesting approval to offer a new cookie decorating class at the Rec Center for children for ages 10 and up. Participants will learn some cookie decorating techniques and will be able to bring home some of the creations. It'll be offered 2 nights a week, offered on 2 nights, $20 per participant, or $30 per participant if they register for both nights. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the cookie decorating class for $20 per participant, or $35 for both nights. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also, we have a announcement, Breakfast with Santa, on December 9th. The prices were for age 11 and up will be $6 a person, and ages 10 and under will be $3. Next item I have is shirts for the theater program for the Rec Center for Matt Chabarro. I'd like to make a motion to approve $144 for those shirts. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is all I have.
Charles.
Okay. Next, we have a request. I was requested by a couple of town employees to talk to the board about having a holiday party for employees And as you see on the little note we have, the party would be on Friday, December 15th, from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Rec Center. This would require closing town hall at 1 o'clock on Friday, December the 15th, as the party would go from 1 to 5 p.m. And this would be for all employees. We have something like $1,200 in an event line in the budget. So if you folks agree to having this for the employees, the motion would be not for the town not to exceed spending $1,200. And if someone wanted to bring a guest, I would suggest that the guest be charged $15, because this is for the employees. It's also a way of us saying thank you for their service for this year. So, any comments? This is kind
good
of
idea.
rough, going like, you know, against apple pie and Santa.
It's like a bah humbug.
So I will make a motion the town board approve, first, the closing of town hall, Friday, December 15th, from 1 to 5 p.m. And that we foot the cost of the employee party at not to exceed $1,200, and that any guests that employees bring be charged $15 per person. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, I have a request from the Golden Age seniors for a trip to the Southeast Grill for their holiday luncheon. Cost to the town would be not to exceed $1,033.50. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the the Golden Age senior request for their holiday luncheon on December 7th. So moved.
Second.
And just to be clear, we're not paying for the trip, we're just actually paying for the lunch.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sean?
Anything else, Charles?
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, first item, the Patterson Fire Department is adding 2 new members. We'd like to approve Wilson Kajaz from 5 Center Street. Say it again? Kehas, I apologize, to Wilson. And Scott Miller from Beechmont Road in Lake Carmel as members effective immediately to the Patterson Fire Department. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, we have Patterson
Well-
Fire Department.
Do you want to, Eleanor, do you want to table this for a little bit?
He said he'll be here by 7:45.
Okay.
Is that, all right,
Well, we'll be going home by then. You want to take it?
Well, can we wait till the very end?
All right, so
Move to table as long as possible. The second item.
all right, we're down to other business at that point. Does any town board member have any other business?
We have this one.
Yes, we do.
Okay, we have a request from the controller relative to the purchasing of bottled water, cups, cooler rental from Crystal Rock. How long is this for? That's like
1 year.
1 year, I'm sorry, thank you. So I'll make a motion, town board approve this request to purchase water from Crystal Rock in the amount not to exceed $1,435 for the next year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other town board member have any other business?
I have one item.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you probably read in the paper, saw on Facebook, there have been several cars that have either been stolen, a couple cars have been stolen, and a few cars have been not broken into, but items stolen out of cars because they were left unlocked throughout the town. So I just want to remind everyone, make sure you lock your doors in your vehicle, and make sure you don't make your vehicle a target by leaving electronics out. A lot of times people leave their cell phones or GPS devices on the windows, pocketbooks on the seat, their keys in the car. That the cars that were stolen had the keys in the vehicle. So just remind everybody just to make sure you lock everything up, lock your doors, and don't make yourself a target.
It's very distressing that we're seeing this kind of vandalism and theft in Patterson again.
Yeah. And most important, if you see something suspicious, please call 911. If you, whatever, something suspicious is just something out of the ordinary, trust your gut feeling. If you just feel something's not right, you see someone in the neighborhood you've never seen before and they just don't fit in, call the police. If you see a vehicle driving around the neighborhood, you see someone looking in cars, call the police.
Sean?
I was going to suggest that, depending on the length of public comment, that is it possible for us to go into executive session, allow our camera crew to leave, and just keep, like we would normally, keep the meeting open so that we can meet with Eleanor and Matt when we come back out, so we're making good use of our time if we're waiting on him, because you said 1:15, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's,
I just texted him, I haven't heard back.
Okay.
all right, let's see how it works out.
Okay.
Because I do have a couple of things. First, for our attorney, do you have anything for us on the third garden apartment tax tertiary? All right, Jamie, I believe, or Trish was supposed to contact Jamie. When we did the resolution approving that, the amount of the expenditure, there was an appraisal that was left out. I believe it was done by McGrath, in the amount of $250.
That's who typically does them.
Okay.
It's the first I'm hearing of this. Yeah, sorry, Paul. It's the first I'm hearing of it today.
Okay. Well, to expedite this along, I'd like to make a motion that we approve McGrath Realty in an amount of $250 to complete the appraisal on Third Garden Apartment tax tertiary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that went way too quick. Second thing I want to bring up to the town board, we have a potential problem in the making. I've become aware that the town of Southeast has an application pending before their planning board for basically it's a warehouse facility. It's actually 4 separate buildings. They're calling it a logistics because they are doing internet sales. Are you familiar with this?
I'm familiar with where it is and somewhat of the scope of it.
Okay, I did say-
It's called the developers, I think, are Putnam Seabury, and it was the former site of an approved 140 home development that was somewhat controversial when it was originally approved. It was a tough time for it to get through the process. That's basically it, other than from your email seeing that Fields Corners Road is potentially an access way
Yes.
to it.
So what they are proposing is about 1.1 million square feet of warehouse facility that will be internet-based companies making deliveries off of the site and all the attendant traffic. It is on Pugsley Road in the town of Southeast, as everybody is aware. Pugsley Road is a very narrow, windy dirt road that is a seasonal use road in the town of Southeast. It comes out on Fields Corners Road in the town of Patterson. And with the amount of vehicles that they're proposing to put at the intersection on 312, it is going to be very likely that a lot of those people are not going to wait to get through 200, 300 standing cars, because that's what they're proposing, an hour. And they're going to start shortcutting back into Patterson down Fields Corners Road, and then across Fair Street over to 84, especially if they're going north.
So they're not going to use drones for delivery?
No,
They're not gonna use drones
they're not
for
gonna be
delivery,
drones
no?
for delivery.
Just thought I'd ask.
This is going to create a tremendous traffic problem coming through Patterson, down Fair Street, especially with the tractor trailers who are heading north. It's going to be quicker for them to cut down Fields Corners Road. So, I want to put this on everybody's radar so you're aware of that, because it's going to be a huge impact with traffic in this area. Now, one of the things I've asked Don to do, and I'm not so sure we can do it, but is to actually close Fields Corners Road, make it a cul-de-sac. That would solve all our problems. And I'm hoping somehow we can do that.
We'll research it, Rich. I've had some experience on road closings within the confines of a town, where the roads began and ended within a town. The fact that it crosses the municipal boundary is a new one for me, so I'll have to take a look at that. Generally speaking, a road that is a public road can be abandoned as a town highway. But there has to be very minimal traffic on it, and that could be substantiated in order to be able to do it. So provisions of highway law will be relevant, and we'll get into it, see what we can do.
Okay. Just keep in mind, one of the positives in this for us is that Southeast has treated that as a seasonal use road for years. So they actually close the road seasonally.
Yep.
Or they don't close it, they stop maintaining it. They don't.
No, they put barricades up.
But, yeah, people still drive.
They drive around the barricades,
yeah.
but the barricades are up saying road closed.
Yeah, are you familiar? I'm not familiar with whether there are residences. I know there are residences on the Patterson side, but not on the other.
Yeah, no longer. There used to be, but no longer.
And this, for those who don't know, this is a road that intersects 312, basically at the Home Depot shopping center. That's where this is
But
located.
in a worse location for sight distance, that's
Sure.
horrible. That I'm wondering what they're gonna propose for realignment of that area. They're gonna
Yeah.
have to.
They've submitted a very detailed and extensive application, and were before the planning board last night for the initial presentation to the board.
The
That's
initial
status.
presentation included a traffic analysis. The traffic analysis was very detailed in the traffic and improvements that they are looking to make in the town of Southeast. The traffic analysis never once said Patterson, not once.
Okay.
Can we restrict commercial traffic?
And then it becomes an enforcement headache.
I mean, if we
And,
can't.
and that's
I mean,
not
if we
gonna
can't
address all
close-
the cars.
If we can't close the road.
Well,
At minimum.
we could, set a vehicle weight limit
Mhm.
on the road, certainly. But, plan B, if we can't close it, is to, push them to make it, suitable for the traffic they're gonna, put down the road, which means going to a 2-lane road the whole length, 24-foot
Right.
wide, paved road all the way.
Is this really a viable project, though? Because, I mean, how much vacant commercial space do we have probably in the town of Patterson? If you look at all the properties that are,
But that strip of corridor has tremendous. It's all vacant, the entire corridor.
Yeah.
From one end to the other.
but I'm just thinking,
But
will you
it's all commercial
could you
property.
rent out 1 million square feet of space to internet startup companies?
I'm not so sure this isn't a company who's looking to occupy the buildings.
Yeah, and I think it's a use, Kevin, now that is being almost resorted to because of the difficulty in marketing
And
other
retail,
types
yeah.
of commercial space. So,
How big is the Gap distribution center on Fishkill, just by comparison?
don't know.
Don't know.
I would.
That's a huge facility,
Yeah.
but
I
I
would
was just
guess
wondering
that's
by
probably
analogy.
at
You're
least
talking the same scale.
150 to 200 at least.
I can't even imagine that being anywhere near. The traffic's bad enough, just if you want to pull out of Mount Kisco Medical Group with the traffic coming up 312, so, or now,
Yeah, are they gonna put
Caramel.
a hotel there too? Are they looking to put a hotel in that area too?
Yeah,
Other side of the
Yeah.
highway.
yeah,
But still
and
not.
retail. Yeah.
So the town will be an involved agency, I believe, under secret because it's adjoining the property. Does the property come to the town line, do you know?
Property, I believe, I guess, I don't think it does come to the town line.
Yeah,
It comes
I don't know
very,
it that well.
very close, but, we're gonna get noticed under 239M,
Right,
but
sure.
we have no approval over this project. So we're not per se an involved agency. I
But
certainly intend to.
interested.
Oh, yeah, I certainly intend to send a letter down saying we're an interested agency.
I'm aware of it only because we received the plan set of the application documents. And we should coordinate and get ready to go in and see what we can do.
Okay.
Well, is their planning board obligated to let us know about their meetings when this is discussed?
No.
All
No.
right. Don, could you
Yeah,
let us know?
that's
We found out by a third party.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I'm curious about, exactly where it's located, because depending on where it's located, there's the referral in the 239M that Rich referred to, but that's not, I don't think that that's, constitutes a requirement to have received notices of public hearings and the like.
Yeah.
So I think it's really a matter of monitoring and keeping abreast of it.
Or a note to Tony Hay and somebody, just so we know, it'd be crazy that they go ahead and have meetings after meetings and we're not aware of it. Somehow.
You have the traffic report, Rich?
Yes, I've downloaded everything from the site. I'll send everybody the link if you'd like, because it has the application, the traffic report, and a lot of details. Has all the plans as well. So, all right, anyone else? Public recognition. Any member of the public wish to be heard? Going once.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Ercole.
Hello.
How are you?
Mike Ercole, President of Putnam Lake Firehouse. We're having two events coming up the next 2 weeks. On Saturday at 7 o'clock, we're having our parade. It's our annual tree lighting and donuts and coffee and stuff like that. This year we have 19 floats, so it's going to be a nice sized parade. And I believe the rec center is coming also, so some from the area will be there. And then on December 10th, Sunday, from 9 to 1, we're also doing a breakfast with Santa. If you don't get enough at the rec center on Saturday, you can come to us on Sunday. Same price, $6 for adults and $3 for kids. So,
Thank you. Thanks.
I didn't even read it. I know it's time to read it. You want to talk about it?
Excuse me, one second.
Following up on Mike's
Sorry, should be here in a minute. Just take a break, away from.
comments, I'd just like to mention that in this week's Courier, that the Putnam Lake Fire Department Chief Vinnie Finelli has a new title, Lieutenant in the Fire Department, New York, Rescue-EMS Division. You pass along our congratulations to him, please. He's a 16-year member of the Putnam Lake Fire Department, became chief of the Volunteer Emergency Services Brigade last January. He apparently in New York is the go-to guy on hazmat and all that kind of good stuff. So we congratulate Vinnie on his achievement and say thank you. Okay.
You're up if you want to start.
First of all, Eleonora Smith, President, Patterson Fire Department. Also, we're having a tree lighting on the 8th. I know I said that last time I was here.
Yes, you did.
I have a flyer. Can you put up a flyer for me?
Yeah, if you have it.
I do. I have a couple.
I suggested you email it to me.
I know, I didn't. Thank you.
That's Friday night.
And they're also having a candy cane run. I think that's the 16th in the morning. We're having a couple, two sides of town. The guys are, two Santas are going out. So I got all the candy canes and the Santa suits, so they're all ready. I'm excited for that. Okay, so our ongoing discussion on EMS, second call backup for the town of Patterson. We keep bringing it up again because we think it's a very important aspect to have a backup at night from beginning at 10 o'clock to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. We have a duty crew at night to be able to back up. We've asked for some money. I know that Councilman Rogan last time suggested that, you know, we maybe take some of our money out of our installation dinner, which is $15,000. And I did go back to members on the board, and they said if that's what it takes, then we can scratch off the $15,000 and put that into take that out of 2%. So that brings it down to around $25,000 to have a second call backup for the town.
Eleanor, I want to clarify, because I
Yes.
know that you probably took a little bit of offense to that comment. It was more of a general comment that there's probably let's say you wanted $40,000 to run EMS, and I believe there's probably $40,000 that you can get from your budget. And my point was that the social fund was just the one that jumped out, that
Yeah.
the average person is gonna say, isn't EMS more important than a social fund, that you can take the money from other lines that you have that you can't take EMS from? So my point was simply that the town board was pretty hamstrung on the money that was available, but there is probably money in your budget that you can figure out where to draw from to run your EMS on the bare bones this year. And then we can certainly try to figure out a way to fund it for in the future. That's really all I was suggesting. It wasn't so much picking on social.
Right, I totally understand
Okay,
that.
so it
No,
wasn't-
that's
it
fine,
wasn't
but,
jumping
but
on
if,
that.
but if that's what it takes to really have the second, for us to be able to provide the second call, for us to take that $15,000 and even for the year or whatever, to help out, and then maybe you want to put it back, we are willing to do that. So that, I just wanted to make sure that you understand that. We just started, so just.
Okay, I'm sorry. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry
it's
I'm
fine.
late.
That's okay.
All right.
All right. I'm not exactly sure where I'm jumping in here, so.
You're pretty much at the beginning.
Okay. Well, I know she had mentioned that you guys wanted to speak to us about the proposal, and we're just kind of curious. I know she asked at the last meeting 2 weeks ago about the board's rationale for a backup plan, and in particular why you guys haven't made a decision about having us provide that service.
I think at this point, we had made that decision, that, you know, giving the financial limitations that this board has, we just cannot find it in the budget to fund EMS, fund second call, Patterson to be second call, at the level that you had suggested.
So,
That was
given-
the decision. Now, Eleanor just proposed something different.
Because of the comment that was made last
Correct.
meeting. And if
Right.
that's what it takes, I'm saying we're willing to do that. If that, I know you're constrained and you don't have the money, but I think it's so important that we need to find the money to do this.
Okay,
It's
then,
really important.
then
It's
that's
not-
the
it's not a
conversation.
party, it's
I mean,
for the
that's,
party.
that's where we've been from the beginning, is that based on the proposals that we've received from the fire department, we couldn't find it within the budget to fund second call EMS to that level. That if you could bring it down, and that was our proposal back to you, if you could bring that cost down, then perhaps we could start working on, you know, getting that up and going.
So I think and forgive me because I don't have all this stuff with me here as I just walked in. But I think the original, what?
41,000 I think total with.
It was less than 41,000 with the vehicle replacement included. And I know you guys had submitted a counter proposal to us. And again, I don't have that in front of me. If you recall what the number
Yeah, it
was.
About 20.
I think it was about
26.
26 and change, somewhere in the
Okay.
26 range.
So-
I don't remember the exact amount.
If based upon the discussion that we had had earlier, if we were to agree to take that vehicle replacement amount, the 15 and change, from our existing budget, which was just adopted, and take the money for the installation dinner out of 2%, that puts you at the $26,000. And is that back to a point now where
We're back to a point where we're actually starting to talk about it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you can, you know, find that kind of a savings within your budget, you know, to provide EMS, then I will try to find the money within the budget, and perhaps we can work through the details.
Seems pretty straightforward.
So if you could shoot me over exactly what you're looking for, you know, under the current proposal, then, you know, we can start having this conversation again.
Okay. Like I said, we'll leave the rest of it as is, and like I said, we would make up that difference from moving the lines for the installation dinner out of 2%,
instead of, you know, what was in the 2018-19 budget. And that should put us at 26 and change, which should be right where you, you know,
Okay.
right where you said.
That'd be
you needed to
fantastic. Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Anyone else? Going once. Motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.